have to eat like slaves anymore because we're not slaves. If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel. Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Hello, and grand rising to you. Happy Saturday, everyone. I am Carolyn Gentle, and you are in The Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Today's topic is about nutrition deception and lies and misinformation. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. We are live streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So thank you all so much for joining us. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me on stage so we can get the party going. I already see Shirley Gentle Smart in the building. Hey, Lily, good morning to you and happy Saturday to you. Hello. Hey, there you are. Happy
All right, here
day.
I am. It's how you doing? You looking wonderful this morning.
Thank you. So do you. I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful.
I'm really, really excited. I care about this subject because this is something that we deal with on almost on a common basis. You know, it's just like we kind of expect to read stuff that has some small print, right? And the small print says something like under new management, going out of business sale. And then you get there and it's like, that's really not what's happening here. So we've got like this new faculty of scrutinizing things before just openly taking it in as the truth. And so goes the same thing when it comes to the things that we eat. And trusting that because our lives depend on it, what we eat, you know, the way we feel. You know, people that are joyful people and people that are people that you love to be around, all of that is energy. And that's the thing that you want. We want to eat the foods that have or that will add energy to our cells to keep us vibrant and safe, because you really get sensitive when you have children. It's like children have become like the garbage disposals of America because you know, you have a young child, I don't know what to give them, so they give them whatever. Here, eat this, you know. And it's just, that's another, we'll do that on another day. But right now, I want to say hello to my wonderful sister, Denise Kane is in the house. And she is so wonderful. I'm really glad that you're here. And brilliant. Denise is she's a brilliant woman. And speaking of a brilliant woman, boy, Shirley Gentle Smart. Wow. What a blessing to have here on the show today. I want you to make sure that you get people to come on in. Look, we're making, you know, if we quantify what we're doing, we'll find out that we are touching a lot of people, and that's what we're here to do. We're not going to win any trophies over entertainment because, you know, it's like there's no blinking lights and you know, all of that. But we are our own celebrities. We are our own latest news. We are our own audience, even sometimes, because we have to, that's what you do, especially, you know, if you're just getting into the influencer position, you already know these things. You got to be everything that you want to see. Oh,
here it is. Write that down.
You got to be everything that you want to see. So it's really important. So now what we're going to do today, let's go ahead and we're going to talk about, I'm going to add this to the stage here. so that you can see. We're talking about some of the facts, the nutrition facts, along with the lies and deception. Oh yeah, I want you to let it go and talk about it today. you know. Uh, so we want to have one to welcome Skyane Production over here on Instagram, and we'll as we go on, of course, we'll continue to build up the attendance. So, all right, it's still morning. People are still stretching, so let's catch them right when they do this, right there. So, um, we'll go ahead and start off with some of the things. I'm going to start off. What is deception? Deception is just like making, some of the things. How do you see that, Care? Let's get you into this mix.
So the question is, what's the
How
question?
do you recognize deception?
Mm. Well, deception would be someone saying something or doing something. Um, um, and
Exactly. That's what.
well, no, because I had to get my thoughts together. Like you be throwing these questions at me, and I got to get it together. But to me, deception is someone doing or saying something to another person, and they mean to harm them in some kind of way.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Deception. Well, you can deceive a person without wishing them any harm, or doing it for the purpose of harm, but deception is to lead them astray, away from the point of truth. And one of the things that we know for sure, that eating healthy, this is deception. Eating healthy is too expensive. These are the things we're gonna rap about. All these, care. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get
All
it.
right.
We're
Good.
gonna talk about these things. This, because don't you hear this? Haven't you heard that before? So
Yes.
when it comes across eating healthy is just too expensive, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it, but it costs too much. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
now
No.
that's the problem. So the antidote, what would be, you want to go ahead and read some of these?
Ooh, I got to bring this closer to me.
Oh, I'll start it off while you warm up and get your glasses.
Get my eyes going.
I get your eyes going. Well, it may take some planning and time in the kitchen. That's the number one thing. Your kitchen, by the way, should look more like your um, uh, medicine cabinet. There should be something. The things that you have in your cabinet should be those things that you can reach, touch, use, not just there because they're in a pretty bottle. You want to make sure that you're using the kind of foods or making the choices, and everything in your cabinet, everything in your freezer, everything in your refrigerator should be things that will make you better because they're there, not just for taste. Now, so I don't sound all sanctimonious, there will be momentarily there these different holidays and other celebrations, and you might just eat a slice of pie,
Just a
have some
little bit of
cake,
pot.
yeah. And you see, we have all of these things, and then that's just a part of it. But it is a treat. A treat. A treat doesn't mean a meal plan. You see, and that's what happens with some people think that every meal is some kind of event. So they go all out with the big, and some people may even be those that can afford it, will have many, dishes served to them. But it's really, I think you'll get a lot out of it today, because we're talking about, the way that you plan your kitchen. If your kitchen is the same way that it's been, you're talking about you're changing and you're getting healthier, but your kitchen looks the same, I think that there's a misstep there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're talking about changing the way that you eat, you're just going to change. Recently I cut way down. I just looked at other things that I am eating and drinking so that I can reduce even more the sugar. I'm not Mr. Sugary Kid right now, but I said, where can I improve? And I went straight to the sugar. And by the way, for those of you that are still eating baked goods and cookies, like, donuts and pies and all those kinds of things, well, guess what? That is considered the solid sugar. But there's another sugar that's even more dangerous than that, and that is the liquid sugar. And we find that in lemonade, we find that in pomegranate juice, we find it in orange juice, and all other juices, the ones that are mixed and called the fruit. What was that? The fruit juice. It's some kind of fruit juice combo, and all of these, even the vegetable juices that are combined with fruit, like that, you might read it and it says like carrots and pears and apples and grapes, where all of these are additional sources of sugar. And remembered liquid, because it is so condensed and is broken down into a drink, is very easy to overdo it. So you don't want to go over 8 ounces for the whole day of drinking something that is just saturated with sugar. Okay, so remember, liquid sugar is more dangerous than the solid sugar. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. But some of the other things, some helpful hints to help you to make better decisions about shopping and getting better deals will be plan your meals and snacks around the sales. What kind of sales? Grocery sales. Get things when they are when you have coupons, or go when they're specials. They still to this day hand out little bitty newspapers. You've seen them before, and it has nothing in it but fruits and vegetables. Um, you want to go ahead and pop in here about this shopping with the list and so forth?
Yes. So the next one is shopping seasonally, especially with fruits and vegetables. Did you say that one already?
Well, no, but this is great. I'm glad you mentioned it, because it's like some stuff is in season, some stuff isn't in season, and the stuff that's in season is sometimes you can get a discount on it, but I'm telling you, dragon fruit. I keep getting dragon fruit is one of the most expensive fruits out there, and I'm still crying over spending $17 just to get one dragon fruit. And but it was worth it, because that was seeing it. Dragon fruit is like seeing it up close, and
Mhm.
the texture is perfect, and the color is supreme. It's so white, or it's so red. And I seen the kind that's kind of like gold with
Mhm.
the specks in it.
Right.
That is some really incredible fruit. So I bought it, and like I just said, let's get this over with. So it was, anyway, it was sometimes it gets me, like when I go in these restaurants and you just get, a couple of sandwiches and you almost spend $100 if you get the drinks to go with it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
But
True.
and then, but you always look at the around at the table where you got people, 9, 10, 11 people sitting, and everybody having fun and stuff. They're paying the same prices I'm paying, but
Hmm.
they're like enjoying it. So yeah, I learned a lot about that. If you're going to do it and enjoy yourself. Don't sit up there and mope about how high it is.
Right.
So
I
I was
agree.
kind of really getting on me on that one. So we got to create a shopping list and stick to it. That's right. Get a shopping list and stick to it. I mean, I'm talking to the people. If you're very, very serious about your nutrition, and you really want to stay away from cancer and atherosclerosis and type 2 diabetes, and if you're already sick with type 1 diabetes, or you dealing with some type of these any of the many different types of cancer that you can get, you just know that we're talking about eating what can prohibit cancer and atherosclerosis and diabetes, on and on. This is what's very important. It's not like, oh, we got all this food, but we don't have any way to do better. Some more people are caught up in some of the trendy stuff. So, they wait until something, oh, you heard red potatoes were real good. Oh, and then, red potato time. Well, you know what? That stuff passed. We wanted some of the stuff that we eat today has been around as long as you can remember. And now we have to get to the point when to eat it and how to prepare it and to get the best out of it. Okay. But food,
Exactly. I just want to jump in here with a
oh,
comment from James Norman says poor health and medical bills are more expensive than plant-based food. Gotta
that
be.
is absolutely wonderful. Go
Yeah.
ahead, brother. Detroit, James Norman in the house. And love you, man. That brother right there got it. He understands the importance of it, and it's just really wonderful when you have that kind of understanding. And James Norman has been right there with us, growing with us, and just been just wonderful. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Here, another thing is that we have to stock up on staples like brown rice, whole
Mm-hmm.
wheat pasta,
Yeah.
dried beans, and lentils. And you can get all these while they're on sale. Now we have an internet where you can actually get on the internet, and then you can get these great sales you can buy them wholesale. And a lot of them is they just say you get wholesale, meaning that you can buy them in bulk, but you can get a lot of larger bags or boxes and stuff. I'm talking about beans specifically now, and
Mm.
have them sent to you. I mean, there's so many ways to be healthy, so many ways, so many ways. Um, and then the last thing I wanted to go over in the eating is too expensive. When people say I would eat healthier, but you can't beat a $2 hamburger, or I would eat healthier, but I bought all of these. This is a twofer. I got 2 for 1. Those things, and I understand that it's not easy to go, really, to just be a part of that, to be distracted by it, because and you want to save money. McDonald's was just built to the part of the idea of McDonald's is that everybody can afford their food. So it was actually made for people that can't afford the more expensive food. So
And
consider.
I recall McDonald's being more involved with real estate than it being with food. There was somewhere that I heard that from. I don't know if it was from you or for somewhere, somewhere else, but it's not for healthy eating. That's for sure. Is where I'm getting at.
Oh, well, it's definitely true. It's not there. You don't hear from McDonald's or any of those burger joints that how much protein and carbohydrates and look at so forth. It's just
Right.
they're there to answer one thing, and that's your basic appetite or hunger. For some people, hunger, the people that do not have money, they deal with hunger, and hunger is different than being having an appetite.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when they get past hunger, or they can't answer hunger, the next step is what? Starvation. And
Yes.
starvation, like when a person is starving, now this is a matter of life and death. That's when you see people that are digging in the trash and seeing if they can find something that somebody left over. And that is, they don't care who's looking at them. They're past the point of embarrassment, but they have to live. So starvation is a whole nother thing. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Another myth is that everyone should follow a gluten-free diet. Now, unless you have a celiac disease or you have gluten intolerance, you don't need to avoid gluten. I want to make that clear, because some people, they just buy these. I buy gluten free. Gluten, by the way, is one of the proteins in wheat and some other grains. So we know that it's protein is found in wheat and barley, and is found in rye. So whole wheat products have a great nutritional benefits, including essential B vitamins and fiber. And that's what we need. We need a lot of that. B vitamin family is just excellent, especially when it comes to the distribution of nutrients and the breaking down of food, digestion. Okay. Be mindful when manufacturers remove gluten as additional sugar, salt, or refined starches are often added to make up the difference in the flavor and the texture. So when people are or manufacturers are taking something out of the food, they're also putting something back in the food so that they can still make the sale. And gluten-free cookies and all that stuff, I've tested them before. Nah, I miss the gluten, so I don't. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. But if you have the disease, celiac, like I have a little niece that she's constantly dealing with this, and she's been dealing with it for years, and it's because of her celiac that she avoids those things that have gluten in it, and so she has if you're again celiac disease or gluten intolerance, then you don't. That's the only time that you would eat a gluten-free diet. All right, let's move on to the next. See, there's the use of unrefined sugars such as honey, maple syrup, or coconut sugar in place of white sugar. Now, it sounds like these are in place of unrefined sugars, your honey, your maple syrup, and your coconut sugar. Sugar is sugar. That's the bottom line. Sugar is sugar. And although unrefined sugar options may contain a small number of vitamins and minerals, like, honey, for instance, manuka honey, some brown sugar, molasses, all of them have some trace minerals. The advantage is minimal as they are still considered added sugar and contribute to the recommended daily limit of added sugar in your diet. So just because it's coconut sugar, or it says manuka honey, or it says maple syrup, those are different tastes, different aromas, and they are some different choices. Nevertheless, sugar is sugar. So we go ahead and move on. Now, if you want to avoid carbs, you hear a lot of people that talk about, I'm not going to eat carbs. I don't want carbs. Well, carbs is what? Carbs is the best source of energy for the human body. There's nothing else that we can eat that's better. Some people say, well, no, I can do it off fat. You have keto or ketogenic diets, and you have other diets that just focus on avoiding the carbs. And a low carb diet is a fad diet that is continued to make an appearance over the years, and it gives carbohydrates like the fruit and whole grains included a bad reputation. So when these professionals come out and say, stop eating carbs, carbs will make you fat, grains are not good, and all of that, those grains and those particular, the fruit and even the vegetables have been around before that person and the people before him and generations on and on and on and on, and we still here. That's how we survive the times. So you got to be realistic about these things. Not it's just carbs just have a terrible reputation for making people gain weight. You want to care?
There is a question in the comment. Denise is saying, is stevia healthy to consume?
Stevia is sugar, and it comes from a leaf. It does come from a natural source, but nevertheless, yeah, it still is in the category of a sugar. Stevia is just not as sweet as sucrose. You have to add more to get even more. Like saccharin is, for instance, 550 times sweeter than sugar. And then you have aspartame and other different types of sugar that are sweeter than sugar. and they can stay on the shelf longer. But stevia is just one of those alternatives, another way to they extrapolate sweetness from a plant and sell it. So that's
So,
what's but it is less, it isn't as sweet. So that means a lot of people use stevia so that they can avoid a sugar spike.
mhm.
Yeah. So that's the deal on that. I'm going to go ahead and say that anytime anyone eliminates a highly processed carbohydrate food such as chips and cookies, white bread and potatoes smothered with that butter and gravy, they would be expected to have the same results. And that is that they're looking for, they're eating, food to lose weight. So that's how we get all mixed up with these avoiding the carbs. Any diet or eating program that eliminates an entire food group gets a red flag because it's likely missing out on vital nutrients. So when people say, I don't eat carbs, I don't eat carbs. Well, those people that don't eat carbs, they're missing out on all the benefits that carbs will bring. And one of those very wonderful benefits would be fiber, right on top of my mind. The other thing is the benefit of breaking down that food. Those carbs become starches, the starches become sugars, and it's really a wonderful choice to make. Care?
So when you say again, if you can just go back to the last one, because I know, um, where was it? The last, yes. You're saying any diet or eating program that eliminates an entire food group gets a red flag from me, as you likely will miss out on vital nutrients. So to me, when you say any diet or eating program, would you say that, when someone switches to plant-based or vegan, they are no longer eating anything that has to do with animals, any animal products? Would you say that that falls into that category as well as not having or not getting some vital nutrients?
Well, that is one of the most excellent questions I've heard in the last couple of weeks. Oh, that's a great question, and it is really, really, it makes you think. And the answer is yes, that falls in that category because people, for instance, you can't get, or it's difficult to get vitamin B12 from plants.
Hmm.
So you animal would be the best. Even eggs, there's different nutrients that you would get more of out of eggs than you would some plants. Plants, you can live on those, but you notice like a panda, like the panda bear, and it's like the giraffe, and you notice other animals that you'll see every time you see them. What are they doing? Most of their life is eating. That's all, eating all day long, eating, 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 eating. And then some of them travel around and they go from place to place, but it's looking again for more to eat.
Hmm.
And that's why they have to eat just huge amounts of plants in order to stay that large, like a
Hmm.
hippopotamus or a rhinoceros. They eat mostly plants. So you see, it is very, very important to, your question is a really great question. Those people that just cancel that whole group out, I give it the red flag because there's most likely something that they're going to miss out on altogether. Although there's other things that they can do too. There's supplements that they can take,
Right.
but
Yes.
then supplements is things like, do you believe that they work or they don't work? Because there's some really poor testing on the use of supplements. Nevertheless, people over 40 years old are the ones that usually take supplements constantly and more committed to those supplements. All right, here comes my favorite. A detox diet will clean toxins out of your body.
Woohoo!
Ah, you know, hey, isn't that something? You know, our body is so incredibly um, it's just packed with different types of machines, uh, which is actually our organs, that will break down foods, that will minimize the effect of poison, that will, like lungs, for instance. You don't, cleaning your lungs clean themselves, they're self cleaning.
Hmm.
uh, you have the stomach, and then we have verticula, which will clean the colon itself. Now, some people think that they're cleaning their colon because they're eating such bad combinations and they're eating all of this ultra processed food. They get stuck in the colon, and when they take a laxative to get rid of that, they feel like, hey, I'm clean, I'm clean. But no, that's not it at all. The body, the human body is incredible. It constantly is working on, and that's we have a pancreas, liver, we have kidneys, spleen, stomach, heart, brain, all everything is functioning and it is in harmony, or it its intention is to be the creative intention is for it to be able to break down foods and then distribute uh, all these broke down foods, now that they're in chemicals, to all parts of the body. Most people are just going from day to day on, pretty much their belief system. And when you talk to people and they get offended by this, the reason people get offended is not you personally. It's like people say, "Oh, he makes me sick." It's not that. They just don't want to hear any bad news about a good going habit. Nobody wants to hear bad news about their habit. Everybody wants to hear good news about their bad habits.
Right.
So you got these kinds of folks that just get upset. Some of them like, oh, here he come. Oh, here he come. It's like, dang, I can hear you. You know,
And I can see you.
I can see you. Your liver and your kidneys, your gastrointestinal tract, they do a good job at detoxing it every day. And when I say it, your body, every day, your kidneys, your liver, and your gastrointestinal tract. This is what is working on constantly. That's why you hear the bubbling. Some people call this hunger pains, but that's digestion. That's your digestive functioning. In that sound and movement and bubbly stuff that you hear, that is called motility. And when you hear that motility, that means that your body is working correctly. When you pass gas, your body is working correctly. When you urinate, your body is working correctly. All of this is a part of your body being balanced. Now, if you're looking for to rejuvenate your body and focus on eating more whole foods, drinking more fresh water, and removing highly processed foods from your diet, that is huge. Don't even buy that stuff. Stop buying a box of chocolate cochorochos, some cereal that you never heard of, and fruitadudas and all of that stuff. Fruit Loops don't even have any fruit in it.
Hmm.
But we keep on eating it because, hey, I'm getting my fruit.
And it's the sugar more than anything else that people like from those Fruit Loops, because I used to have them all the time. They were good, but a lot of sugar.
Yeah, the taste. Now, when you say, see, even when Kara's saying good, she means the taste.
Oh
The
yes.
taste. Because just because it tastes, you love the taste doesn't mean that it is healthy. And
Right.
there's a difference between good and healthy. Good is usually referring to taste, and healthy is usually because of the benefits of something that
Yes.
you eat. You see? So great, great. We're getting a lot of stuff done. let's go ahead. We're going to skip the resetting today. No, let's go ahead and reset. Let's do the right thing. Go ahead, Care.
All
Hit it
right.
with the fire.
Thank you to everyone that's joined us here today. Today's discussion, we are talking about nutrition, deception, lies, and misinformation. If you have not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. Please go ahead and give us a thumbs up on YouTube and on Facebook as well. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up so we know you're there and that you're enjoying this information. Um, Let's see, we are streaming on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and on Instagram. So, hello to you guys over there on Instagram as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And go ahead and share this live. If you're just coming in, we just discussed some great information. You can always go back and watch the replay. The replay will be on Dr. Farid Zarif's YouTube channel. All right. So, Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me back up on stage so we can continue on with the conversation.
Beautiful. I'm going to go back. I wanted to start off with another myth. You shouldn't eat anything after 7 p.m. Now, some of these people,
Uh-oh.
I mean, we're getting closer to that, but these are things that, and some people, it helps this person and helps that person. I don't want to seem like, oh, this is crap, but let's see if we can just fine tune it. If you're listening to people or you've been told or taught that you shouldn't eat anything after 7 p.m., what is really important is determine what time did you get up.
Right.
If you got up at 7 a.m. and your first hour is 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., then right, 7 p.m. is the time that you should stop eating. That's your cutoff time. That's the end of your smallest meal of the day. And I talk about that in my circadian diet called the rhythm diet, and it explains this to you. Now, I also have a book coming out called The Rhythm Diet. I'll tell you more about that later, but this will help you and your family stay true to a plan that helps everybody. So I just plan, if don't even eat after 7, not even a grape. Of course, I put not even a grape up there because it's just not even anything shouldn't go in your mouth. It's a little too strict. But if you have eaten and later on 2 or 3 hours, you get a little hungry and it gets to the point you're ravenous and it distracts you, then I would suggest to not eat, but it'll be a perfect time to drink some unsweetened tea, water, things like if you had soup or maybe a little cup of soup or something if you're very ravenous. And these are some of the things that are very, very important, and other choices. While the late night snacking can lead to weight gain or prevent weight loss, it's not because of the time on the clock. Instead, it's about why you're eating. Why are you eating? It's not about the 7 p.m. Why are you eating there? And it's common to reach for foods for the reasons other than physical hunger in the evening, whether it be a habit, boredom, or craving. The one thing that I miss up here is nervousness, because sometimes people are just terribly nervous about things. They're in fear of things. Sometimes loneliness. Food becomes a surrogate, and that means that it becomes a friend, and people sit with the food, they eat with the food, they drink with the food. Some of them are looking at TV as another companion. And do this while you are young enough to do it. I don't care if you're 78 years old and you're, or even older, that you are in a situation where you are imbalanced with the absence of people. You're not a recluse, a person that just stays all to his or herself. You want to come out of that and visit. I don't care if you get in the car or get on the train or whatever you do to get out of that house.
Yes.
Get out of the house. Do things that will take off your shoes, walk through the grass, go around where other people are enjoying life and they're dancing and they're singing. You know, when we see those circles sometime and we're like, oh my God, I ain't talking about the ones like downtown or Hollywood. I'm talking about the ones out at the park. Because
Yeah.
the ones that you see at Hollywood and downtown, they are there specifically for entertainment. But
Mm-hmm.
when you go to the different groups that are doing Tashi or Tashi Chuan, when you see the ones that are doing different gymnastics and they're stretching, enjoying their bodies, uh, you know, when you see people that are dancing, you know, Tommy the Clown was doing this, was therapeutic, coming into the neighborhoods, playing music and having the children just dance
Oh yeah.
and they would compete against each other. All of that just looks like entertainment, but that is also therapy. Nobody's thinking about hurting anybody if you're dancing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, nobody's thinking about problems when you're um, uh, visiting your loved ones or talking to people that respect you and love you. See, so all of these things are very very important, and it's common to reach the food for reasons other than physical hunger. So remember, I stated before, if you're starving, none of this stuff, it don't even, you know, nobody that's starving, you know, is even listening to this. Why? Because they're seeking food. And then you have people that are hungry. People that are hungry are those that have waited too long to eat, or they're not eating the proper frequency, which means about every 2 hours, eat a little bit of something. You don't have to have this big plate every time you eat. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I heard that you eat 6 times. No, you know, let's make sure that it's working for you without hurting you. Let's go on to the next thing. All right. So we got that was a real good one. The best way to decrease sodium intake is for you to stop using the salt shaker. You ever heard that one before? And that's like when you, it's like if you, a person says, how do I stop eating all that sodium? I love salt. Well, in the year 2020, all the way to year 2025, the dietary guidelines for Americans recommend having no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. The average American consumes 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day. So that's what? That's 2,000. Let me see here. Oh, no, no, no. That's more than that. So you have 1,100 more milligrams than per day. That's a lot of milligrams, so 1,100 more. And the problem isn't as easy as taking a salt shaker off the table. Much of the excess sodium that Americans consume from their diet comes from the salts that are added, I should underline that, the salts that are added to process ready to eat foods and restaurant meals. Now, just a couple of days ago, there was a recall care, and the
Yes.
recall was over 10 million pounds of ready to eat foods or
Mhm.
pre-cooked foods. And
Yeah.
this, can you imagine 10 million pounds?
Mm.
And this affected a
Wow.
lot of other companies. That is a whole lot. Limit your processed foods and enjoy more fresh and home cooked meals. That's what it means by whole food, plant based foods.
Mm-hmm.
Whole food means these foods that you are eating and preparing yourself in your kitchen. You know, we've really got some people. Remember in 2020, people said, hurry up and open up the restaurants because we're starving out here. I'm like, whose family depend on a restaurant?
Right. Well, mm, yeah.
That was news to me because some people, like the single people, they really and truly love the restaurant food because they don't have to do anything. I get it. I get it. You being served. Everybody got that royal part of them that, yes, thank you. And bring me an extra fork, please. You know, you
Just
know,
having someone serve them, right? That's a
yeah,
part of
you know,
that
that's a
whole.
part of
That's a
it.
part of it too. Yeah, not having to do the work. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so let's look at this. Low fat and fat free products are healthier choices. Now, I know we've heard this before because people think that when something says low fat or fat free, that is actually a really good, healthy food. And
Hmm.
what is the key when they take something out? They do what?
They
They
put
put something in
something.
its place to replace
Right.
it, right? So
Yeah.
many products labeled low fat or fat free contain added sugar or sodium to make up for the lost flavor when removing or reducing fat.
Mm.
That's all you got to remember about that fat, right there. When it's removed and it's low fat or it's fat free, that they're adding more sugar and they're adding more sodium so that they can get that same taste. But it's not going to be the same because fat satiates, fat makes foods taste better.
Hmm.
You see? So your satiety comes into place here. Satiety is talking about taste, the enjoyment of how something tastes. And when you are eating these particular foods, taste is all that counts at that time because you're looking for that euphoric feeling, There used to
Yeah.
be a cartoon that there was this dog, this cartoon, every time it would eat a milk bone or whatever it was eating, it would say and it float in the air and come back down. The stuff we look at as children. All right, let's go ahead to I want to get this back to the sides here. Yeah, certain foods such as grapefruit, cayenne pepper, or vinegar can burn fat.
Hmm.
Now, if
Wow.
you write in the comments, I want to hear about this one. Have you heard this stuff before? Please put this in the comments because there's so many people that actually believe that. But sorry, no foods, keep this in mind, no foods burn fat.
Okay.
Oh, we got a lot of people that's really, we just seen the, woo, it really got your attention on that one. So,
Hmm.
no foods burn fat. What burns fat? Well, let me go ahead and continue. Make you no foods burn fat or make you lose weight more quickly or increase your metabolism enough to have an effect of weight loss. So the people that are saying, no, you eat this because this speeds up your metabolism, and it makes you, I know this is hard to take in because we've been hearing this so long. So I just lost a lot of people there. Let me go ahead and read on. Diets that focus on single foods like those mentioned above are restrictive and lack nutrients the body needs. They're also unsustainable, and any weight loss that may occur is a result of calorie restriction and likely will come back once you continue. So, what is calorie restriction? Food has calories in it. All foods, usually, unless there are foods that are empty of calories. But we'll get to that later. Right now, we're just talking about the calories. Let's say the foods that you eat: hamburgers, fries, bacon, eggs, steak, vegetables. All of these have calories. What are calories? Calories are units of heat and energy. That's what calories are. And even if when we talking, we need that because that's the energy. When you are asleep, you still need energy. You can't even, if your body doesn't have any of these, it has this energy, then your body shuts down. And that's the sleep that you don't want. So the calorie restriction is that's when you start getting, the effect of weight loss. Okay. And I talked about that yesterday in the video. when we talked about the importance of weight loss or losing weight has so much to do with your genetic disposition, your gene pool. We won't go over that right now, but this is a really good point made. Let's go on to full fat products. And full fat products equal weight gain. Now, fat free and low fat diet trend is a thing of the past, in the 80s and the 90s to be exact. Yet some of the individuals are still scared of fat. This shouldn't be the case, as fat has beneficial functions like protecting our organs, maintaining maintaining the cell membranes, promoting growth and development, and absorbing essential vitamins. Without fat, we wouldn't be able to use vitamin A, D, E, and K, for instance, because fat is what absorbs these particular vitamins and allocates these throughout the body in our cells. And we have trillions of cells to make up our body in total. Be aware that fats aren't created equal. So choose heart healthy, unsaturated fats. And we've been over those: olive oil, canola oil, nuts, nut butters, and avocado oils over those with the high saturated and trans fats, including fatty meats and high fat dairy products. So this is really important, that you want to avoid just eating fatty meats. And fatty meats can be like Kobe beef, for instance. People love Kobe beef because what? It tastes so good and it is raised with a lot of fat. Also, some people just like skins, like pork skins and
Mhm.
bacon, and it goes on and on. But these are ways that there are ways there that you can improve. I'm not expecting you to just be finished with this overnight. There's so many ways that you can improve. Okay, right there. Let's go to over to the comments and see who has said what. All right. Oh, we got Velma. Welcome, Velma. It's good to see you. She said that she agreed with something there. Uh, that's something so true. So thank you so much for being here. Michelle Gento is in the house. She gave the thumbs up. Oh, that's good right there. That's good as go. And really appreciate it. We got Big Mama in the house. Big Mama from Dearborn, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. Yeah, boy, I am loving what Detroit is saying to Trump. I love it. I love it. Uh, and then we have Shirley, Nurse Shirley Gentle Smart says that lemon and cayenne pepper for me does suppress my appetite. So I feel that it does does move the scales for me in the right direction. All right, well that's beautiful,
Mhm.
and that's what it's about. Discovering different foods, different drinks. Like me, tea really helps me to chill. I can drink tea and not have this big thing. If you ever get a chance, there are Koreans, Japanese, especially Japanese, and Chinese. Some of them, especially the Japanese, there's a ritual. I forgot the name of that ritual, but they go through this ritual before they drink the tea. They just don't do like we do, put it down, let it steep, drink up. They have a whole beautiful ritual with music, with the sound, the gong and other Asian instruments. It's really a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. Okay, let's go ahead and keep on going here. We're almost there. I just want you to get these few things. If you got to go, you got to go. But I would say stay, because right now you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you leave. So let's go ahead and get it. Here we go. The artificial trans fats are unsuitable for human consumption. I'll do these pretty fast. Trans fats are unhealthy. Now, when you think about trans fats, one way that you can think about trans fats are those fats that are in canned foods that last a long time on the shelf. Another way you can think of trans fats are those fats that are in chips, those fats that are in other things like Cheetos, the different fried and extremely fried foods. And that's how you take something like maybe a kernel, and then they fry it at a very, very high temperature, and it comes out as a cheese puff or something of that nature. So be aware of that. Trans fats are also made when you heat it up too high, and it goes beyond the oil's smoke point. So keep that in mind. Remember, we went over smoke points, and that's when the oil is burnt, and that's when it is burning, and that's called the smoke point. And those are things that we'll go over later. Another another one of the myths is that you don't need to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Well, some people are stuck on the standard American diet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's what got us in this mess in the first place. You see, years ago, a couple of generations ago, let's back to the 40s, we started to we were for a long time we've been working and working, and then it got to the point the industrial period where we worked and then we go home and the daddy gets the big chicken, the daddy gets the big piece of chicken. So all of those things changed over time, and now we just pretty much eat wherever it's convenient, and we don't come to a table unless it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or one of those kind of things. At the other holidays, we usually eat out in the yard or a park or something. But nevertheless, eating at a table is pretty superannuated today. Some
Mm.
people believe that having smaller, more frequent meals help them to lose weight. Well, again, it goes back to the caloric intake, and it goes back to your genes. Your genes are very important. What did you get from mama? What did I get from daddy? And that's important because when you up there, oh God, I can't lose weight. I'm eating too much. They say I'm lazy. I should work. All of that junk. Throw that stuff out of your mind. You are not lazy. You are beautifully made. You are really worthy of whatever life has to offer you. Don't get caught up in that. So, what you do want to realize is that in order to lose weight, you got to have energy, and everything must be functioning the way that it's created to function. And how do you do that? We eat food that has nutrients in it, and we absorb those nutrients to get the results that we're looking for. Take news headlines with a grain of salt. Yep, that's right. When you're listening to things that on you might be listening to something that been has been researched, or some pro might even come selling a book on media, and you just have to do your own due diligence. Bottom line, meat doesn't rot in your colon.
Mm.
Meat does not rot in your colon. I think this would be a good one to stop on, because
Yes.
people that really think that for instance, detoxing and colonics. Now, I think if a person is stopped or they have blocked stool where their stool isn't moving, and they can they to have a procedure. Not I don't mean a procedure such as surgery, but I mean the steps that a person goes through with the syringe that releases the water, like in a high enema, for instance. A low enema is with those little bags, bam. But if you have like the syringe and you have the apparatus for colonics, colimas, and even like the black coffee, when you're using a black coffee enemas, all of that. When it comes to meat, meat is not rotting in your body. I don't care if they do use the word putrefaction. This food putrefies. Putrefy is another word for rotting, but fermentation and this is stuff that people have gotten from some real old information, for instance, like in food combining. Now, I'm going to get on that later on because I was one of the founders and did very good. I'm from Detroit. I did very good. Some people in Detroit still have my posters. And this is also, that was one of these founders is Dr. Wayne Pickering. You can look up all of this stuff. Check me because I want you to know the truth. Okay, check, and you could do it. I'm having fun, but you should,
Mhm.
and you'll find out that these are really good points, and they can be proven by you doing your own research. So, no, the question: does meat rot in your gut? The answer is absolutely no, no. Now,
All
if
right.
you see, I can make another picture of that, but I think you'll get it. Um, it's entirely false that meat rots in your colon. Your body is well equipped, just like I said earlier, to digest and absorb all the important nutrients found in meat. The protein gets broken down in your stomach by stomach acid, and that's like your pepsin, and that's like your what else is there? What's the biggest amount? Hydrochloric acid, right? That we have a huge amount of hydrochloric acid that breaks that down. Now let's go on. Then powerful digestive enzymes break down the rest in your small intestine. Your small intestine is what, everybody? The duodenum, right? That's the 12 finger bursts length, small part, the first part of our small intestine is the duodenum. We went over the jejunum and we went over the ileum, and we also talked about the cecum, all these different parts that you can put together anatomically to understand also the functionality. Most of the fats and proteins and nutrients are then absorbed by your body, while small amounts of protein and fat may escape digestion in healthy people. There is not there's not much even left after all of that, breaking down proteins and fats and absorbing and digesting and all of that. There isn't even much meat left to even be rotten because the body consumes it all to make sure that you're getting all your vitamins through absorption. All right, got it. All
Right.
right,
Yes.
we got the eggs left. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take this down because I know I would go ahead and continue. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Kara, go ahead and give us some feedback. What you think?
I mean, great. It's funny because when you put up the one about the salt shaker, I almost forgot that you were talking about misinformation, lies, deception. And I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. I'm like, oh, no, wait, we're talking about misconceptions. So, things,
I
it just
can,
automatically snapped in my head, like, okay, Carolyn, it's not correct. You know,
right.
like you say, there are some things out there that people definitely grab onto because they heard it, they didn't confirm it, they didn't do their own research. I will say that when you mentioned the grapefruit, that part of it, as far as burning fat, I do remember hearing that and thought that adding citrus, like a little lemon to your water or something like that, you would always hear that that helps with burning fat. So that was one thing that was like, okay. So, look,
Yes,
but
the
great
people.
information. Yeah.
Yeah, people, thank you for that. I want to give a shout out to my brother Sean is in the house. Yes, over here in Instagram. Thank you so much for being here. And everybody else here, Ebuli Yoga. Ebuli Yoga is here. Thank you for being here. And Eclipse Soleil, long time. It's so great to see you. And then we have J Ram Financial Services. Oh, that's the right business to be in. Thank you for being here, J Ram. And of course, we have Sharon Rosenblum. We're grateful that you took time out of your schedule to join us today. And Sean, man, I'm so proud of you, brother. Yeah, I'm glad that you're here, keeping that body in shape. The world's greatest DJ, incredible photographer, musician, and it goes on and on. And one of the funniest dudes you ever meet. So anyway, man, love to you, Sean. Yeah, I want to go back over here and see what do we have. Yeah, oh, any more? Okay, I think we got everything there. Thank you for kicking it off, everybody. Those people that got here early and you stayed all the way through, we really appreciate that. We want you to continue with that attitude, commit to it, because everything that you hear about isn't true. Let's go to Care so we can go ahead and wrap it up.
All right. So again, thank you to everyone that joined us here today. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're at that, I don't want to say finish mark, because that's absolutely not true. We're getting to that 1,000, that we have our goal set to get to that 1,000 at least to start off. But thank you is what I'm saying.
Are you talking about in what, the YouTube?
Subscribers, yes.
Oh,
that
okay.
1,000 mark, yes.
Yeah,
We're getting to that 1,000, and that's a goal for us, our first goal as far as what YouTube goes. So I just wanted to say thank you. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. We are here every Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So thank you again to everyone that dropped a comment, anyone that shared. I see I'm frozen, but I'm still going to keep going.
That's what you get.
Thank you is what I'm saying to everyone that joined us here today. Dr. Zari.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming. Look, just like Kara said, we really need, we can't do this without you. So listen to all the things that, like all the different videos. We have hundreds of videos now. And we have great education there, something that you can follow, catch up with things. And if not, you don't have enough time for that, make sure you come back. You can always come back and replay this and get what we said, so that you can go ahead and make your life better. We're not here to compete against anybody. We don't want to be, I want to be better than you. I want to, we don't have time for that. What we're here to do is, if something can help you, we want to be part of that. If something that you can help your family with, we want to be part of that. If something can help you to pay attention to your blood pressure and keep that pressure down, eat the right food, stop buying stuff that's going to hurt you. That doesn't make any sense. If you're still drinking sodas and you know that it is harming your epithelial tissue, and eating meat that is wrecking your endothelium, this is something I'm saying this purposely so you can look this stuff up. But this is what's going on. And then the information from the CDC, the USDA, the FDA, the NIH, all find out who's calling the shots out here. And you will find that, look, it is worth definitely you eating the foods that's going to help you to enjoy life as you grow older. You see, if you easy, you're going to get some of this good gray hair. If you're lucky, you will get some of this. I can't help you. You got to get this on your own. But it's a beautiful thing. And I thank the Creator for the innumerable blessings. So everybody, thank you so much. We will, any homework, anything, Kara?
Just to share this information, come back and look at it, and be back next week at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
We'll see you then. This is Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist, and you've been listening. Oh, okay. Go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead, G.
I'm Carolyn Gentle.
All right. Thank you so much. I forgot where I was, but anyway, this is the Mind of Nature, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Peace.